Okay, so let's go back to uh, I want to start by some of you have already know this, but for the benefit of those who are going to see it for the first time, um, this particular person is Ted Gorman, and he's going to tell you a little bit about um, what, when, where, and how. And then we're going to go to the high school report card, which he managed during that period of time. So we're just going to play this. Is about 20 minutes. Then we'll go to the report card.
I appreciate Jim and Carol having us today from Steubenville City Schools. I thought it was a phone conference, and I woke up this morning, and luckily I had a suit on today, so I'm good to go. And when I talked to Jim this morning, I looked on my GPS and found out that it was an hour and 15 minutes away. So I jumped in the car, and here I am today. So that shows the dedication that I have, but also to get out and voice all the good things that we do in our school system. This is my 27th year in the school system. I'm a proud graduate of Steubenville High School. I look at the kids that walk through our doors every single day as I greet them as they come through the door every single day. The superintendent knows, don't have a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm going to be greeting the students at 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's important. I come from poverty. I grew up with 8 kids in our family, dysfunctional house. Mom and dad never graduated from high school. So I'm one of them. I look at them and I am them. And I'm the reason.
Jimmy, we can't hear anything. We haven't heard anything after he said, I'm one of them.
Mrs. Sidbury?
Yes, sir.
Could you hear anything beyond what Mrs. Moore said?
No, I couldn't hear anything. After he said, I'm one of them.
Okay, thanks, Mrs. Moore. Let me go back and start again. I'm not sure what happened. Mrs. Sidbury, can you stay off mute?
You want me to stay, you want me to put it on mute or
I
what?
want you to stay
You want me to?
off mute, Mrs. Moore, if you could stay off mute. So make
I'm
sure.
off.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to start this over because I can go back and edit this part.
Okay.
I appreciate Jim and Carol having us today from Steubenville City Schools. I thought it was a phone conference, and I woke up this morning, and luckily I had a suit on today, so I'm good to go. And when I talked to Jim this morning, I looked on my GPS and found out that it was an hour and 15 minutes away. So I jumped in the car, and here I am today. So that shows the dedication that I have, but also to get out and voice all the good things that we do in our school system. This is my 27th year in the school system. I'm a proud graduate of Steubenville High School. I look at the kids that walk through our doors every single day as I greet them as they come through the door every single day. The superintendent knows, don't have a meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm going to be greeting the students at 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's important. I come from poverty. I grew up with 8 kids in our family, dysfunctional house. Mom and dad never graduated from high school. So I'm one of them. I look at them and I am them. And I'm the reason I could be the reason why. If I listened to everybody that said I couldn't be successful, I wouldn't be standing here today. I'd be on the streets looking for food. Okay. But because of relationships, and the literally relationships that you're looking for, that's why we're successful. We talk to our teachers constantly about having positive relationships with kids. And we talk about, I listened to the Rita Pearson video, Be a Champion for a Kid. And we talk about, and every single day, when I heard Carol read this thing here, every day I read announcements. I think it's important that they hear my voice every single day, not because I have this great voice, but because I want them to know that someone cares about them, but I also want to start the message every single day. And this is one of my quotes that I use all the time. And I pick and choose quotes. I probably read 10, 12 a day, and I choose one. And it really fits what's going on really in our school, maybe what's going on in our town. Today, I talked about, my quote today was, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't take a step, you're in the same spot. So those are things I want to keep a simple approach to things, but also have our staff keep that simple approach. And I want them outside their doors every single day and welcoming the kids into the classroom. Being a champion for a kid, it is important. You may be the first smiling face that they see. When they dig in that clothes basket to find that dirty clothes that they put on and they come into your building, that's step one. We'll work with the tardy. We don't like you being tardy. It's not appropriate to be tardy, but also at the same time, we will work with you on that. What is your reason? Finding out. Again, it goes back to having relationships. What does this have to do with the state report card? Everything. Everything. Because if that kid doesn't feel that you care about them, if they don't think that you have their interests in best heart, this test means nothing to them. It means nothing to them. So we have about 700 students in our high school. 40% are white, 40% are black, 20% are mixed. So again, that's the makeup of it. We live in a very poor town. Okay, 100% free and reduced lunch. Our population of our city is 18,000. Our median income is 36,000. So very poor, very depressed area. You know, when the Youngstown Mills left, the Steubenville's left, their mills left also. So, and we never found a way to come up with a different way to produce that income. Okay. But it is important for us, and if we look at the report card today, we're very proud of our report card. We are not proud of this. This is unacceptable. Okay. I heard Jim talk about, earlier today about the A's, B's, and C's. This is unacceptable. This is what our team of teachers, and that's how we approach it. We just had department meetings last week. How are we going to get better? You are not going to stay the same. I am not the same person that I was yesterday. How am I going to move forward? And that was, again, my thought for the day for the students as I read that this morning through the announcements. We look at graduation rates. First of all, our culture in our school. Our culture in our school is that we have about 50% of our teachers are Steubenville High School graduates. So I don't need to talk about our school culture. I don't need to talk about, hey, this is the Big Red Way. This is the way that we should be doing things. They grew up there. They went to school there. They know what the expectations are there. So those things are things, and I know when I go around and talk to different schools and different groups, I don't really have to sell that to our students. They know what Big Red Pride means. They know all of those things. We may have to re-emphasize some of those things, and we get into PBIS like a lot of you do and stuff like that. And again, trying to reinforce positive behavior and different things like that to make them a better person and make them a better student also. But if we look at our overall report card, it is a B right now. Achievement is a B. Progress is a B. Graduation rate. We had a meeting this morning before I left with the seniors. We have a class of about 155 seniors that are going to graduate. We had 30 seniors in a room like this. Those 30 seniors, we just started our second semester when we came back from Christmas break. They're on the verge of not graduating. So our graduation rate, it is saying, I think, it's 90, 95, 96% or whatever the case is. Those 30% of this, so those 30 students, are really, if they continue on the path that they've shown the first semester, they're not going to meet that. So we have to kind of give them a little kick in the butt a little bit, but give them a little bit of motivation. Why are you not doing those things? What can we do to get you past that point? A lot of our students don't come from parents that are being supportive of education. So we have to step up as those role models. We have to do that every single day. I can't take a day off. That kid's still going to come back. I saw a girl at the front desk before I left today. I thought she moved. She reappeared today, and she was giving all of these excuses why she's not at school. And very, very troubled youth. It was good to see her in school today. And again, our secretary is tell it like it is. It's that hard truth that she gives. But I think that is important too, and it goes back to those relationships. But prepared for success. What we have in Steubenville is we are not a big AP school. We have the good fortune of being a partner with Eastern Gateway Community College. And they are a big partner of ours. Out of 700 students, 271 students qualify for College Credit Plus. We are a big College Credit Plus school, and our main partner is Eastern Gateway Community College. The professors come into our building every day. 4 to 6 professors come into our building every single day. Not taking a job away from a teacher. The teacher's not certified. We do have some teachers that are certified, and they teach the classes. But with almost half of the students in our school took the AccuPlacer, passed the AccuPlacer, and are able to take college classes. 5 years ago, we couldn't say that. Okay. Our philosophy, and really my philosophy, is why not? Why can't everybody take the test? Why do you have to be considered gifted to take the test? Why can't everybody take the test? So we start giving the test in 8th grade. And everybody, I don't care if you're in special education, take the test. Take the test. Give everyone an opportunity to take the test. There's a lot of college graduates out there that weren't classified as gifted in high school or gifted throughout their school. So we want to give everyone an opportunity. And a lot of times, those are the hardest working students because they constantly have that thrive. I want to prove somebody wrong. I'm not in that little group. So those are sometimes our hardest workers that we have. We had the good fortune of 2 years ago, we started with an associate's degree through Eastern Gateway. And we had 9 students that finished with 60 plus hours. And they also graduated with their associate degree and their high school diploma. 9. Last year, we had 34. And we graduated here on Youngstown State's campus. So 34 of our seniors last year graduated with an associate's degree. This year, between 30, 35 again. It varies by the different classes, but their goal, I just had a conversation with a parent this morning. She's a teacher in one of our elementary schools, and she's looking at scholarships for her daughter. And she wants to go to Youngstown State, and she wants to major in music education. And she really has to take some extra courses right now in order to get that associate's degree. But she knows how important it is to do that. So again, we're not a big AP school. We do have AP classes, but we are more trying to get our kids associate degrees, trying to get them to take college courses. And it doesn't matter if you get maybe the associate's degree, but just to taking those extra rigorous courses is really important to us. And where does that fall back into the state report card? Again, we know that the achievement gap, and anytime the gap closing is we know that students are up here, we got to try to get them to increase their score. Okay, we can't have everybody get 100 here because we get over the course of their time throughout their school from when they start taking tests, they have to be able to show that growth. So that is important. The ACT, we have ACT prep that we're trying to even look. And when I go to conferences and different things, if someone else has an idea and we think that we can fit it in and it fits into our system, we take it right now. If you give me an idea today and I think, man, that will fit right perfect with Steubenville High School, I will take that idea and how can we work that back out? What we try to do is we try to tell friends, we have the good fortune of having Franciscan University right in our town. We tell them when they say, hey, can we put early experience teachers in your building, how many do you want? I said, how many do you have? Why? We want those teachers to come in, those early experience teachers come in. I'll give you 2 or 3 hours in the class, but you got to give me an hour tutoring somebody. Okay. And how do we get the tutoring in? Well, guess what? You have art class 5 days a week. Until you pass that test and get a little better on that test, because that's coming up here, you're only going to have art 3 days a week. Okay. So we take some of the electives that we have, and what we do is instead of them having 5 days, we only give it to them for 3 days. Is that punishing them? No, but in the core classes, we have to keep them in the core classes. One, because it's going to help produce higher results on the test, but also we have to have that give and take. So again, we are taking those early experience teachers. I went to a conference up in Akron and Akron Garfield, actually where I was up there and they were talking about that. I took that back and I called it Big Red Helps. Why not, right? They called it like Garfield Helps or something like that. I said, yeah, it's Big Red Helps now. So I took it back with me. I took an idea. They were like, Mr. Gorman, that's a great idea. I'm like, yep, it's a great idea. I appreciate your support. But we still do that. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I've been the head principal for 6 years. This is my 6th year. And these ideas are not my own. These ideas and what we do is as a team, and how can we get together, and we have to work together. What is our goal? Okay. And we talk to teachers all the time about where do you fit? Okay. And I talk to my staff meeting like this once a month. And I said, it's the kids, it's the school, and you may be third, you may be fifth, but you're never going to be first or second. And they don't even balk by that now. The union doesn't say anything. No one says anything. Because if you're for kids and you're for the school, then you shouldn't have to worry about where you fit into that thing. Isn't that our goal? Our goal is to get our kids better. Our goal is to make our school look better. And when they shine, I shine. And when I shine, they shine. It is I keep it simple as possible. I'm not trying to make anything difficult here. But our teachers, we have a school that's coming in on Friday, and they're down by Cincinnati. They looked at our test scores and said, you know what, we want to come in. So we have a whole day full of activities for them we want them to go into our classroom. We invite them to go, we encourage them to go into our classroom. We want them to talk to our teacher. How are you getting these test results? What are you doing? What are we not doing? Okay. So I think when we keep an open mind to things, and again, our philosophy is why not? Why not? Just do it. Just do it. Keep it simple. When someone comes to me with an issue, why not? Why can't you do that? You know what I mean? Let's not put restrictions on somebody. I had a conversation on my phone on the way up here. Some guy wants to do something with geographic and social media, stuff like that. And he said, I know you're a progressive district. Are you interested in this? And I said, why not? How much is it going to cost us? It's not going to cost you anything. I said, okay, well, send me some links. Let me do a little bit of research on it. And I said, if it can work and it makes our system better, let's do it. If it promotes our kids, all right, promotes our kids in our school, why not do it?
That's the point of reference. Any questions about anything he said? I want to go just over their overall report card currently. But if you listen to what he said, it's all the things that we're talking about. In other words, there are places where they don't look like us that are doing for us within their system what we expect them to do. And they're not whining about it. And if you heard him in that last comment, the first question he asked was, is there a cost? No. Okay, then we can get it done. And we have to push it based on best practice. Best practices, no, they're not perfect. But if we say ABC, then ABC is ABC. And even with an A, it's not 100% in every direction. So it makes a difference. But it also makes a difference for us because ABC is also what's the attitude, what's the behavior, and what's the cultural communication. So we can stay within that groundwork. And what's the GPA? Is that an A, a B, or C? So all within less than a minute, we can really talk about what it is we're doing, why we're doing it, whether we're talking to a student or to a parent. That's the ABCs of what's taking place. All the other stuff is jargon. If at the end of the day you can't own your report card, he owned his D. Youngstown Early College in that same area had an F. Cleveland Early College, who also was down there with us, earned a C. So they learned from each other as to how to improve to get to the C, while Dr. Sharonda Smith was learning how to get to the B and to the A as they were inaccurate. So bringing people together who are experts in their field, who meet our criteria, understanding they're not perfect within the construct of that criteria, that's one of the most important subliminal things that we do. Just them being in the room together. As I said before, we had the first one at Youngstown State University because it was a full college. We had the second one in a 2-year college. So the associate's degree is just as important. So making sure that the environment is correct, actively and passively, all of that makes a difference. And we were able to pull that off. Now, I say all that because I want to go back to what I said before. Getting those people to come to us, we did not pay them a dime. We just told them they could tell their story, they could give their input on their report card in their city with their students, and then answer questions from the audience so the audience could understand the difference between Akron Early College, which was rated a B in that category. Sharonda Smith was rated a C. Steubenville was rated a D in college career. But did you hear the counter? They started out with 5 students that took College Plus, and then you got the 30. And the 30 not only took College Plus, but ended up with an associate degree, which meant that they didn't have to go to an early college to get an associate's degree. So we have to make sure that our parents know more, know how many avenues and directions they can go. And that means that we have to know and we have to be able to point it out. That's the purpose of making sure that discussions like this are put up so that they can hear a discussion without having to, quote, go to a meeting. It could be 10 degrees outside. It doesn't stop them from pulling up Google, going to Achievement Matters or Best Academic Practice, and being able to see a principal who did what he did. He called and he thought it was going to be on a conference. He decided to drive an hour and a half to get there in time to present. Again, no money, lots of people in the audience. So I just want to bring those things up. I'm going to do a quick piece on his report card. So you get an idea of this. There's more in depth on that we'll do on the district as a whole. But in terms of his report card, his report card was, it's Pamela's out. So here was their report card. As you can see here, they were overall, they scored, this is now 2025. When they were there, you saw that report card. This is where they are now. They have a new principal. They were overall a 4. They had 4 stars in achievement. They had 3 stars in progress. They had 5 stars in gap closing. They had 5 stars in graduation. And notice what he said then when they had a D. Now they're up to 3 stars in college and career. So what he was saying, they make happen. In other words, they work toward getting better, take ideas from other people, being in the same room with other principals who are scoring higher there, they learn from those persons, and that's a big deal. So I just wanted him to be able to speak and then to be able to show what their overall report card for. Top school, he explained to you the makeup of the school, and they do what they do, good, the bad, and the indifferent, but they do it. So I wanted to make sure all that came up before we get off. So if you any questions about tonight's presentation that you might want to ask for the purpose of people that might listen to this can hear your question and the answer, and it might help them, although they're not in the room with us.
Yes, I have a question.
Would you identify
When
yourself,
we look at,
Mrs.
can
Sibber?
you hear me?
Yeah, would you identify yourself for the recording?
My name. Hello, everyone. My name is Kamika Siberry. I am here on the task force representing North Carolina. And my question is related to when we start looking at, because the question was about when he said no, everyone could take the Accuplacer test.
Yep.
And so that is, the community college placement test. And when we start looking at AP classes, just trying to differentiate between them, an AP class gives you a higher weighted GPA
Correct.
and doesn't, and when a student takes a college course, does that not also give them a higher weighted GPA?
It does. It does in the sense of
And
college, but they could be on the 4.0 scale as opposed to the AP being on a 5.0 scale.
okay.
But if you score a
And
three,
so that
if you score a three
uh,
on the AP, you can actually get college credit. 3 or better.
okay. Okay. Just trying to differentiate between taking an actual college course
Right.
and taking an AP class. If anybody just has some more insight into that.
The first part of the insight is the college course means that you're already in the college. The AP
Hmm.
score, then they have to determine whether or not, even though you scored a 3 or higher, are they going to give you credit? So
Okay.
having the college credit is an A level, and having the AP is like a B level. Still valuable, but different.
And just to clarify, AP courses are often offered to students who are labeled as AIG or academically gifted for the most part, or
In in,
students who are high achievers.
in your particular district, you're saying AG as opposed to a general student, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in some places, it's general ed, right?
Uh-huh.
General education, as opposed to gifted or special education. That's why I said whether you're rated gifted, special ed, or not, if you put the pedal to the metal, you can get there.
Okay.
It's just a question that you're taking a different route. The
Okay.
degree of difficulty may present you with a problem. Otherwise, no, it's the same. Okay, and if there aren't any other
Thank you.
questions, Darla, can you take us out?
Yes. Give me 1 second here. I was watching a news report on the local news, and I'm going to try and find it. It's here in Hubbard. And the teachers went to a retreat or some kind of workshop. And at the end, out of all of what they had been exposed to or had participated in, she says, we found out we've been doing it wrong. And we're teaching, we're just going to teach to the gifted students. So I have to find that because I
Oh,
wasn't really listening, but I was listening.
well, good.
So
Okay,
as soon as I find that out, I'll see if I can post it.
great,
But it's a local school district here on right off the east side of Youngstown for people that know the area.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. We cannot force someone to hear a message they are not ready to receive, but we must never underestimate the power of planting a seed.
Great. You will send it out, right?
Yes, I'll send that out. Yes. Good
Thank
night.
All right. Okay, everybody. Well, we appreciate it. This is going to be edited and put up on YouTube. So we are on our way to having 30 before the end of that's our goal. Where we reach, we will know on the 31st, but we're headed there. So I would say thank you much. And thank you, Darla, for bringing it in. And with that, I'll close.
Good night.
Everybody.
Good
Good
night,
stuff.
everyone.
Good night.